And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. We're starting early today. I just can't wait. I cannot just sit here for 10 minutes. I'm literally ready. It's, only Sunday morning, 6:50 a.m. Pacific time. And I can't sit here for 10 minutes and just be like. So we're going to start this off. And a lot of people are mad about the Stellar thing. Oh, man. We're going to start off with Stellar. Stella! We're going to start off with that. Stuttering Stanley. Look, I'm just going to report the news. I'm going to show you some facts. If you don't like it, I seriously don't give a fuck. You don't have to like facts. You could just be like, what is it, an ostrich and stick your head in the sand or something if you don't want to see it. I don't know what ostriches do. I'm not a bird doctor, nothing like that. Bird dog. But anyhow, I'm excited to be here. We're going to have a great day today. Every day that we can accumulate crypto at a cheap price before this thing takes off is a good day. Every day is an opportunity for you to see the news and, of course, my views. I used to have my news, views, and, of course, my brews, but I can't do that anymore because this crypto shit is getting technical. There's a lot of very important stuff for you to know. And I'm drinking a Monster drink this morning. 0 sugar. I can't have a ghost this morning. Those things are strong, so I got to kind of ease up. But I am glad to do this show. I'm happy to do show. I'm going to tell you what. I went to the Sacramento area yesterday, and I was working out and saw some old friends at this gym I go to or went to. I had to pay a day pass. It's like, a lot of $20 or something. I think it's like $15 or $20. And I was only there like an hour and a half. This person made me remind something I wanted to tell you. And I started the show early just because, the show's about crypto and everything, but we also have our private lives. So I'm going to tell you a little something. I was like really embarrassed talking to my friend about this. I didn't really want to, but the person's like, no, you need to tell the people that watch your show how things started with you with this Crypto Hulk thing. All right. So I moved up into the mountains and I was living there. I had a condo. I kept it empty just in case things didn't work out in the mountains. I could move back. Living in this ratty ass kind of like apartment. It wasn't all that bad, I guess, but it was like embarrassing to where I didn't want anybody to go into my apartment and see it. So I'm living up in this apartment in the mountains where I never had any friends over because I didn't want people to see how I had to live. I had a bed mattress that was laying on the floor. Okay. Yeah, I know. It was pretty bad. Money was getting tight because of, we had inflation. We had a president called Biden. And, and then we had a thing called COVID and they forced, anyhow, everything got really bad financially with me. Money, the inflation hit. Part of, Biden's policies caused me to lose 1/3 of my retirement because I had some money in fossil fuels and shit. And Biden wants to do all this electric wind power fucking shit. So I lost 30% of my retirement. I'm in this ratty apartment that I just don't want people to see. Money was getting tight. I don't want to get into all the particulars. I started doing Crypto Hulk Show for free. That's what I wanted to do, was to run a crypto channel and help people. See, I didn't care about, I don't let my current situation determine my future outcome. So I'm telling you a story here, not like how fucked up was Crypto Hulk's life before Crypto Hulk channel took off. I'm showing you how life is or was for me. It's not like that at all now. It's completely different. I'm living in this apartment. The relationship's kind of going bad. with Mrs. Hulk, because it's just like we were kind of like dating at the time or whatever, and it's just I just couldn't take her out on a date anymore. I had no more money. My bank account was starting to get into the negatives. You know, before I was never in debt. All of a sudden, with Biden and everything, I was 1,000 in debt, 2,000, 3,000. And I'm like, fuck, every month, the paychecks, there was nothing there. It was going negative. I had to start using credit cards to live. And then she's asking me, do you love me anymore? And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? You know, what do you think? And so, well, we don't go anywhere. We never eat out. And I'm like, oh, damn. So, yeah, like I'm trying to make food for us to eat every day. And, you know, she's trying to go to work and I'm trying to be Crypto Hulk. When we first started, the channel was free and stuff, so I didn't have any money. And life was tough. And at one point, I'm like, hey, I'm going to have to move back down to Sacramento because I can't afford this shitty ass apartment, being broke and shit. I got to get a job as a fitness trainer in Sacramento. I can't, I'm broke. I have no money. Like, shit is all bad. And I'll come and see you on weekends or something or like that, you know, because we had to live. That's why I moved up from Sacramento to the mountains so I could see her and stuff, you know. And I'm like, I can't stay up here anymore. I don't have any fucking money. I got nothing. At that one point, I was gonna file bankruptcy. My friends tell me I need to tell the story, so it's fucking embarrassing. So I was ready to file bankruptcy, but I found something called, I forgot, some law group, and they told me that I could get on one of their repayment plans. So just stop paying my bills. And that's what I did. I just couldn't make credit card payments. I had no fucking money. So I just, instead of filing a bankruptcy, I just stopped paying the bills. And then eventually we got on a payment plan and some of the bills were charged off, as they call it, and shit. And I was running the free show with Crypto Hulk. And I was talking to her and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to quit this Crypto Hulk thing. It was about 9 months into it, or maybe close to a year, about a year. And I said, hey, I can't do this shit anymore. I can't fucking live. I got to move away. So I'm not going to be with you every day. And I'm just like, life's kind of fucked, you know? And then at that point, she's like, I'm so sick of being poor. I just want to be rich. My whole life, she grew up in another country like the Philippines. So I went to live in her city for 6 weeks. It was so fucked up in the Philippines. I got sick, almost died and shit from germs. For real. My doctor in America said it, that I caught something and Z-Packs, and my doctor couldn't figure it out. He's like, if you don't shake this, it's going to go into when you get sick, pneumonia, and then you're going to die. And I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, life's been a little difficult for Crypto Hulk, but I was going to quit Crypto Hulk and go be a fitness trainer in Sacramento because there's money there. And where I live in the mountains, there's no money. So I'm just like, I was going to do that. Like, that's where I was at the first year of Crypto Hulk, not in a good place at all. But she's like, I want to be rich. And then I made my mind up, I'm going to help make you rich. It wasn't really for like me. I didn't really care. I'll work or whatever, you know. So I'll go back and live in my condo and go be a fitness trainer and shit. But when she said I want to be rich, I'm tired of being poor. I'm not going to describe her childhood. It was fucked up. You know, you get 2 pairs of shoes a year if you're lucky. You only get clothes, just a couple pairs of clothes just for some school. Or yeah. So that's kind of what Crypto Hulk was doing at the first year. And then I decided to monetize the show. And that's the show. And it worked out well. And I could continue to be Crypto Hulk and to do what I love to do, is teach people how to get better. Now I'm still working on making her rich. That's what her dream was, growing up broke and poor in the Philippines. And I lived in the little town of Mariveles. It was fucked up for 6 weeks. The worst fuck. I'd have to kill myself if I lived there the rest of my life. It's one of those kind of fucked up places to live. And so here I am today. I didn't let my present circumstances determine what my future dreams would be. I had dreams that I'm going to be rich, and I'm still having those, and it'll happen when it happens. So I'm telling all of you this, you know, we all have different struggles and challenges to deal with. What I'm trying to do is show you. So I get the luxury of being home and for 60 hours a week. I told my friend, yeah, I'm working 60 hours a week. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I have to put in to make my 2 programs per day and shit and to research news. She's like, oh, damn, that's, oh my God, I'm like, well, it's just what it is. It takes a lot of work, and I'm texting people. I got this other group, the $500 group. So I'm texting them and talking. So it's just a lot of fucking work, I don't regret it. It's helping me. I'd rather be working a lot now than like be broke before. So, so that's kind of how Crypto Hulk started 4 years ago, having to monetize the channel, because otherwise there would be no Crypto Hulk today. And all the people that learned over all these years would not have learned from this channel. You probably would have to get your crypto knowledge from some other places, and that's kind of scary. So that is the history lesson on Crypto Hulk. And here we are at 7:03 a.m. and let's get this show started. First 5 people. Hold on, I'm getting some. Okay, there's that. First 5 people to show: 552 man, Thomas Cox, G.O., and TK with Danny Boy. Those are the first 5 people that showed up. Now let's get into we're gonna get into something here, Stellar. And I want to show you something. Let me look this up here. Okay. Here's an article right here. My name's Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. I don't know anything about crypto at all. I don't know anything about Stellar blockchain. I don't know anything about nothing. Everything on this show is just a big lie. Don't believe anything I say. Don't buy anything I tell you to buy. Don't sell anything I tell you. Don't sell anything I tell you to sell. My goal is to get you financially destroyed. That's what the goal of this channel is. And let's begin with that. Now, here's an article. I'm going to kind of tell you ahead of time right here just to give you a background on what I'm going to go over. Okay, now what we got here is we have a bank, a crypto bank, the United States first federally chartered crypto bank. Everything's A-okay, no problems. Nobody else had this except them. And what we got here is some connections to a military defense, and I can't say contractor. It's a company called Palantir. It's all kind of mixed in this. What we're seeing here, and this is just what I'm seeing. I don't know what I'm talking about at all. I just want to put that out there again while I'm doing this. So don't sell any Stellar if you have it. I'm just telling you what I did and why I did it. Now, what I've seen is a lot of Ripple and Ripple partners working on small to mid-sized payment platforms. I've never really seen that before up until about the past 3 months, maybe 6. Why is that disturbing to me? Because that's Stellar territory, small to mid-size. Now I'm seeing Ripple moving in on that territory over the past 6 months with their partners, Pfizer and other ones, probably 5 other. I don't have a list written down. It's just something I've been noticing as I'm doing my shows. Why are they going after small to mid-size? That's Stellar. So, so I'm seeing a lot of, let's say, businesses and platforms being started for the small to mid-size enterprise. Well, that's Stellar. today I'm showing you Anchorage, which is the United States' first federally chartered crypto bank. How'd they get all this permission to do this? It's pretty amazing. Anchorage is going to phase out Circle. Now, that's important because we know that Circle runs on Stellar. So let me show you this. Now, I know that Circle runs on other cryptos, but none of them are interoperable like Circle. So they're not really important to talk about, all right? So let's do a copy and a paste here. So we have a page from the Circle website. Experience the power of Circle, which is USDC, on Stellar. Let's continue. USD Circle on Stellar combines the power and inclusivity of the Stellar network. Inclusivity, that means it's inclusive with one of the world's most widely used digital currencies. USD Circle on Stellar enables seamless, near instant, low-cost border payments, fiat on and off ramping, bulk payment. So it does it all. There's no other crypto that does this except Stellar. You know, Circle runs on other platforms. Be like, it doesn't just run on Stellar. No shit, Sherlock. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Other shows and everything. It runs on other, but there's no platform that's like Circle, that's like Stellar, that Circle runs on. None of the other ones are doing this fucking shit, okay? This is the point. Circle's relying on Stellar enables seamless, near instant, low-cost border payments, fiat on and off ramping, bulk pay. Nobody else does this except Stellar. So now that we've established the fact that Circle is right behind Tether in stablecoin use, Circle's using Stellar. It's very instrumental to Circle. This accessing USD Circle on Stellar, and it's showing you how they're doing this. There's a lot of apps for this. Neum, that's a Ripple group right there. Transact. MoonPay is a Ripple partner. You know, it's almost as if Stellar's using Ripple to get shit done. It's almost as if Circle is using Stellar because they got all these Stellar partners right here. Felix Pago, Flutterwave, very interesting. See, so Alchemy Pay, all these are like Ripple partners utilizing Circle, which this is a lot of Ripple influence right here. I'm just showing you on this Stellar Circle page right here. Wire, W-Y-R-E. All these are Ripple partners right here. Very interesting what we're looking at. Now, let me get back to this article. So Anchorage, who is the very first federally chartered crypto bank, is going to dump Circle. Very interesting, huh? And I've already shown all the connections. This is going to be devastating to Stellar. Anchorage is also a crypto custodian. Oh man, Crypto Hulk, this is big time. This is big time. This isn't just, this is just some little company, not a big deal for Stellar. I don't care, not a big deal. Oh, this is a big fucking deal. Because I haven't finished the article yet. We're going to continue it. When I saw this, I was thinking right away, oh, this is so not good for Stellar. I've never really been a Stellar fan. I sold half of it to buy some AMP, and I sold off the rest of my Stellar and got some IOST. The crypto custodian Anchorage and America's first crypto bank rated Circle poorly for regulatory oversight. Oh man, not good. And reserve management. Oh, so basically, this very first crypto bank in the United States, our government, for some reason, gave this bank the first green light. There's something here. There's something very, very important here that these people know. Why do they get the first banking license over everybody else? And they're custodian on top of that? That's pretty good. They're not just a bank, they're also a crypto custodian. Oh, man. And they're rating Stellar poorly. They get an F. Circle gets an F for regulatory oversight and managing their reserves. Uh-oh. This is a bad thing. If you own Circle or Stellar, it's a very, very bad thing. Anchorage Digital said it's phasing out support for certain stablecoins, citing concentration and security risks. Oh, ouch. Can you say ouch? And will direct clients to convert Circle into their token, which is the USDG. Now, if you're interested in doing that, that's up to you. It's United States USDG. All right. So US dollar, then global. That's their coin. Anchorage is mixed up with MasterCard. We read yesterday morning, I believe it was, all about MasterCard and that 6 other companies, Paxos, Robinhood, I think it was, remember? And then MasterCard had the MasterCard Move platform, all that platform stuff. That's what they're using. Circle's going bye-bye with Stellar. Adios, bye. Bye. Okay, I'm just showing you what they're doing. For all I know, hey, look, you got to do what you do. If you hold Stellar, great, hold it. I'm not telling nobody to sell nothing, okay? I'm just telling you what I did. That's all. It means nothing. Critics allege the move is misleading and self-serving, with Anchorage being part of the consortium behind USDG. So there's I'm going to show you both sides of the story. Yes, Anchorage wants to get rid of Stellar Circle so they can use their USDG coin. There you go. That's a good reason to say things like that. The controversy comes at a time when firms are jockeying for positions in the rapidly growing stablecoin sector as regulations advance in the United States. Anchorage Digital, a crypto custodian and federally chartered bank, said it will start phasing out Circle. The firm Anchorage released what they call the Stablecoin Safety Matrix. Now, if you want this, I'll post it. You got to have Adobe to read this. Let me send you the safety matrix. There you go. So I pulled it up because I do have Adobe, and it's only like a page or two, maybe 3, 4, and it shows little. It's not a whole lot of reading here. I don't have time to go over this, but they're showing you what matrix they're using and why they're not going with Circle. So there's a reason for it, and I just sent you their reasoning, their evidence. Circle, which is the second largest stable coin, was deemed no longer suitable under Anchorage's security framework. The Agora USD, which is the AUSD, Agora, AGORA, they got the shaft. Also, another crypto called Usual, USUAL, Usual USD, and it's USDO. they were getting slated for removal as well. Circle was found to be no longer satisfy Anchorage Digital's internal criteria for long-term resilience. Specifically, we identified elevated concentration risks associated with their inner structures, something we believe institutions should clearly evaluate. Not good. They're telling you specifically why they stopped caring. They aren't just saying, oh, just for some reason. No, they came out with the matrix that you could easily see. And they're telling you one of the things specifically is how Circle has their reserves concentrated. It's not looking good. That's just what they're telling you. Now, you can go examine this yourself. This move came in a time when competition in the stablecoin market is heating up with global banks. Now, the U.S. passed what's called the Genius Bill, the Genius Act. Now it goes to the House. So we're getting really close to stablecoin regs. Citibank, Ripple Partner, and Standard Chartered, Ripple Partner. Citibank's only one of the top 3 banks in the world. Not a big deal. They reported that the stablecoin asset class is going to grow to 250 billion, up to trillions in the next few years. That means in the next few years, stablecoins will be worth what Bitcoin is like right now. Oh my God. This thing's going to get cray-cray. Anchorage gave Circle a 2 out of 5. So what is that? 40%. Circle, which runs on Stellar, gets 40% for regulatory oversight and reserve management. Circle had a 15% amount of their reserves held in cash at banks. USD Circle depegged temporarily in March when Silicon Valley Bank went under. Tether, the world's largest stablecoin, had a higher rating with Anchorage, pointing to it being regulated in El Salvador. So now that's interesting. Now, in the other side of this, Van Eck, so that's another investment company, they accused Anchorage of misrepresenting the facts about Circle. But here's the thing. USDG, US Dollar Global, is issued by Paxos, and guess what? That's gold-backed crypto. Oh, got it. So what Anchorage did, are you seeing something now? They're going for a switch to gold-backed, to backed crypto like that. Instead of being monetary-backed, Paxos, we all know, is gold-backed crypto. That sounds pretty good to me. Now, the guy that works at Coinbase, his name's Victor Bunin. He is the protocol specialist. And here's what he said from Coinbase. Never seen such an obvious hit piece be so poorly executed, said Victor Brunin, protocol specialist at Coinbase. So you got both sides. You got people trying to defend Circle and the other side trying to put it down. So again, this is going to come down to you and you personally, what you feel about what you want to do. Don't do what I did. I'm just telling you some people just want to know. Crypto Hulk, what did you do? Okay. I've never really been a fan of Stellar, and I'm trying to find a reason to, but I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully you all are right that have Stellar. I'm just showing an article. It's all I'm doing. I'm showing both sides of it. There's people that say that in this article that Circle's doing great and everything's regulatory on the up and up, and they joined Circle, got hooked up with the New York Stock Exchange, right? So you got both sides of this issue. I'm just bringing it to your attention because I got all kinds of people asking me, Crypto Hulk, should I sell it? I can't tell you what to do, man. This one's on you, okay? Maybe this company just wants to push their own crypto, right? Now, I'm going to take some comments because this doesn't end right here. This thing gets deeper. See, what somebody's starting to notice, Cable Guy, that every crypto pay app, they're having their own stablecoin. That's one of the things. Everybody's going to have their own. What if people don't want to use Circle, right? That means people won't. That means Stellar's going to take a massive hit. If everybody has their own stablecoin, what if they just use an interoperable platform? Wouldn't Ripple fit that? The XRP ledger with the XRP ledger, the XRP being the bridge. If everybody had their own stablecoin, you wouldn't need Circle, would you? Oh, I'm just showing you both sides of it, all right? So I looked up now MasterCard. So I did a little deep dive on Anchorage. And we'll save that portion there. I looked up Anchorage to get a lot of information here. And it was very interesting. Let me pull up. So Anchorage starts with a couple guys. All these things start off with a couple guys. Out of San Francisco, of course. And guess where Ripple's headquarters is? So these two guys, and they used to work at Square. Now it's called Block. It's a payment company. But in the very beginning, check it out, you had Square, which was a company they started at, Andreessen Horowitz. That's A16Z. When those people jump into something, that project's successful and people make a ton of money, okay? And they had Visa. This is all from day one. Like, that's pretty amazing, okay? Now, we know that Visa is all about Ripple, okay? Let me show you. Now, MasterCard is all up in this project as well. MasterCard, that's a Ripple partner. Let me do a copy. And paste. So here we have MasterCard partners with Ripple. Swipe your debit card to use XRP. Now, here's an article with Visa. They spent $250 million on Ripple technology. Here's Visa again. They spent $925 million on Ripple technology. I've never seen Visa spending this money on Stellar, okay? Just letting you know. People will be like, well, Visa and MasterCard are partners with Stellar as well. Yeah, but if they spent this much money, no. Now, with Anchorage, right from the get-go, you get Paxos coming into it. And they form a partnership, and you get Andreessen Horowitz, Visa. They all come on in together. You got the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency given Anchorage the AOK. Notice how back all these years, nobody's getting licenses except Anchorage, right? All these other companies can't get licenses. They get shut down. They get sued and all that by Gary Gensler. Nothing happens to Anchorage, okay? There's a reason for all that. So the two guys that started Anchorage are Diogo Monica and Nathan McCauley. They started in 2017. Andreessen Horowitz jumps right in there. Visa, Goldman Sachs. You see where this is going? Now, have you heard all these companies jumping into Stellar from day one? No. Jumping into Circle like this from day one? No. Now, it gets interesting. It lists the partnerships that Anchorage Digital had, the people that invested in it. Blockchain Capital is one. Colsa Ventures, Lux Capital, GIC, and KKR. What we're going to focus on is Colsa Capital. That's what we want to look at next here. Now, it gets a little kind of strange, but it gets... So we're looking at Colsa Ventures is the name. And Colsa Ventures came from a guy who started Sun Microsystems. Oh, man. So this guy, before founding Colsa Ventures, Colsa co-founded Sun Microsystems in 1982. This guy he's the one who pretty much started all this computer shit back in 1982. He has invested heavily in Anchorage Digital. That's why they get a banking license, and they're also crypto custodians and shit like that. Now, it's interesting. He's also invested into A-Firm, Block, Stripe, Upstart, Ramp, Boku, Cadre, Catch, and Skyflow. He's also involved in WorldCoin and a lot of other things he's involved in. Instacart, DoorDash, and things. Now, the very interesting part, let me try to find it. This guy named Colsa, he has somebody named Keith, Rabios, who manages Colsa. So you got the guy Colsa who started Sun Microsystems. Then he started this investment business called Colsa Ventures. Well, he's got a guy named Keith. Keith Rabios, who's the manager of that business. Now, here's where it kind of gets a little weird, okay? Keith has a boyfriend who is managing Palantir. Now, if we look up Palantir on Wikipedia, let's do this. Palantir Technologies. So if we go to Wikipedia, let me do a copy paste for you. We look at Palantir Technology. It specializes in what? Mass surveillance. I'm reading it right here. Palantir Technologies, an American publicly traded company specializing in software for mass surveillance. Headquarters in Denver, Colorado. It was founded by, here we go, Peter Thiel. They specialize in counter, and I can't say terrorism. United States intelligence community is all up in this. United States Department of Defense is all up in this. Oh, damn, Crypto Hulk. National security, blah, blah. Palantir has been used for clients such as Morgan Stanley and stuff. The company has been criticized for its facial recognition software, government surveillance. There's in here, it's rumored that the only early investments in Palantir were $2 million from the Central, and I can't say intelligence, and I can't say agency. Okay, Crypto Hulk, let's get back to the article here with Colsa Ventures. So the guy named Colsa who started this Colsa Ventures has a guy named Keith Rabios, and this guy's boyfriend is the one that manages Palantir. So we got a direct connection to that right there. So I was looking at that and I was like, damn, that is some very interesting stuff right there. Whew-wee. Let me get some comments and we'll continue on. We're still not quite done with this. So that's what I'm saying. It's like there's these connections here where Anchorage gets the first license in the United States and their federally chartered bank. They deal with crypto and custody and all that stuff. The guy who dumped a lot of money to get Anchorage going, his guy that manages Colsa, his boyfriend runs Palantir. And we all know what that is, a government agency. See what I'm saying? Like, these people are on the in. That's what, now don't do what I do, but this is what led me to dump my Stellar. Now I'm going to let you listen to a video. It's Chris Larson on this video here, and he's talking about, I'm going to give you a little, I'm going to start off in the beginning. You got Chris Larson talking about garbage cryptos and garbage currencies. I want you to hear him talk about crypto companies, and I won't say Stellar that burned up 50%, but listen to what he's saying right here.
Currencies where the economies are going through all kinds of crazy stuff and changing all the time. Let's try this, let's try that. I won't name any names not to insult any countries, but I think, we can think of plenty of examples like that. And I think the same thing applies to crypto. The crypto projects, they're, let's burn half of this.
Stellar.
Let's change this, and let's go in this direction. We're going to do an airdrop there. We're going to do, it's chaotic. It's like the opposite of what.
There you go. He's talking about garbage economies or cryptos, and then he throws in, crypto company that burns half of their cryptos, and that's Stellar right there. They did that. They burned half their thing. So that's Chris Larson talking about what I think to be Stellar. Stellar did that. They burned up half. Here you got Chris Larson from Ripple talking about wild and crazy, chaotic crypto companies burning half their shit. That's just what he said, not me. So he said, I don't want to mention names. I think we all know he's talking about Stellar, all right? So there you go. I mean, look, you do what you want. Don't do what I do. I want to make that very clear. Do not sell any of your Stellar. I'm just showing you what made me sell all my Stellar, okay? Not that I really had it that long anyway. Now, let's continue on this deep dive right here. So let's do a copy and a paste. Here you have PayPal. This is last April. You got PayPal mixed in with Visa. Now, they're all partners here. PayPal, Visa, Venmo, Western Union. But if you look down below in the third paragraph, you see Cross River Bank and Fiserv, okay? Now, what all these companies are doing right here is they're forming a union. They're all coming together. I already showed you earlier, Visa spent more money on Ripple technology and stuff. You got PayPal. Isn't Peter Thiel mixed up with PayPal? Yeah, he's the one who started it. Peter Thiel is also the guy that started Palantir. Are you seeing the connections here? Stellar's not mixed up in any of this, okay? I just showed you all these connections with Anchorage and the government and Palantir and Peter Thiel. And you had Chris Larson talking about garbage cryptos that burn up half, which is what Stellar did and stuff. Look, you have to make your own decision, okay? Here's Cross River Bank, who's a member of this Visa and all that. They're Ripple partners from day one. Visa's not getting mixed up in Stellar collaborations like this. It's not happening. PayPal, I'm showing you who they're all hooking up with. It's not Stellar. Show me a project with Stellar with all these people in it and all the billions that they spent. It's not there. So here's a video I sent you. Go to the 19-second mark. 19-second mark. What do you see? Ripple Labs meet the team. Goldman Sachs is right there. Weren't they just involved in the starting of Anchorage? Yes, Goldman Sachs. But what I wanted to show you here is Fiserv. The fourth partner, Fiserv, right there. Ripple partner, not Stellar. Now we got that. What I wanted to show you, here's MasterCard. Here's the article about USDG. I went over this yesterday. I want to show you again. This is like, I think, the last of what I'm going to show you on all this. MasterCard expands stablecoin push with Paxos. Fiserv comes up right there. We just know that's a Ripple partner with Visa. PayPal comes up here with MasterCard. The payments giant MasterCard is integrating USDG. That's what we're talking about. That's the Anchorage partner. MasterCard, Paxos, Fiserv, PayPal. I showed you Visa earlier. They're showing you in this article, MasterCard is choosing USD Global. That's the one Anchorage is going to use. They dumped Stellar and they're going with this. This is what I'm doing. This is just the facts, people. Okay. They're not going with the Circle. All these giants and Ripple partners and PayPal, Ripple partner, Fiserv, Ripple partner, MasterCard, Ripple partner, Visa, Ripple partner. That's what it is. Now, they may have done some work with Circle, But why, if they're going with Circle, why is MasterCard and Visa going with PayPal and Pfizer, which is a Ripple partner, Paxos? Why are they going with DG, Dollar Global? They just dumped Circle. They're not going with Circle. The evidence is very clear here. Now, you can be, Stellar Maxi and all that shit. You can be whatever you want. Like, I could become a 3-year-old poodle. I mean, I could be whatever I want too. But when we look at reality, these big companies are not picking Stellar or Circle. It's very clear from the evidence that I've shown. Now, they all are in this big group, the Global Dollar Network. You got Robinhood in there. Paxos, which is backed with gold. Pfizer, which is a Ripple partner from day one. We can go on and on. And at some points, they were using Circle, which they were, but they're getting rid of it. Oh, yeah. And Pfizer, again, that's just very interesting to me, Pfizer. And that's the end of that article. Let me click out of these. MasterCard, PayPal. Let me check the comment section here. So, yeah, Velo is on the XLM blockchain. Yep, and I own that too. Like I'm saying, I'm not telling you to sell anything at all. Some people were just curious, what am I doing? Well, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, but I just told people because I try to be as transparent as I can. So what I don't do is tell people, hey, what if Stellar goes to $500 tomorrow? So don't do what I do. I'm just showing you what I did. I'm just showing you evidence, okay? I'm just showing you evidence of the news, and you have to determine what you make of that evidence. Some people just want to know, Crypto Hulk, what are you doing? What does it mean to you? I told you what I believe. Now you ultimately make your own decision. I've never been a fan of Stellar, so that doesn't mean much for me to sell off my Stellar. A couple weeks back, I sold half of it off. Now I just sold the other half. I've never really owned Stellar except for the past 2 or 3 weeks. That's it. So to me, I don't have like $20,000 or $100,000 in Stellar. I don't have none of that. I had a small portion that I've held for about 2 to 3 weeks. That's it. I've never been a fan of Stellar. If you're a fan of Stellar, great. I mean, that's all I'm doing. Some people like to know what my angle is, so you can see how I think. That's how I invest. Velo looked like a great project. It's on Stellar according to somebody network. Great. Okay. But I also know it's on other ones as well. It's not just Stellar. So, and again, I don't know what's going to be. That's why I'm not holding 5 cryptos. I'm going to probably hold about 15 total, because when everything starts falling apart, if I got 15 cryptos, at least one of them is going to make me rich. Okay. If I'm just holding XRP alone, that would be a very, very bad thing if our government determined that XRP was systemically important to the survival of the United States and the government orders all of it to be confiscated. And then the government comes out with a quantum computer and hacks your wallet where you have all your XRP. Oh, shit. Not good, right? They have all this technology. I strongly believe the government can hack everybody right now if they want. That's what I believe. Let's see. Joshua Joseph says, that's actually written into the XRP code. They can claw back your XRP. Black Apple says, yes, definitely can hack anything. And then Bobby Flash is like, that's some wild stuff you just said. Look, these are just, nobody has 100% proof. I showed you some today that's very concerning, okay? Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. What I did is I hear from Chris Larson's mouth about wild and reckless crypto companies that burn up half their escrow. Well, that's what Stellar did. It's just I'm looking at things and I draw connections. Anchorage is like, I got a couple questions in this deal. Who are these two guys that started Anchorage? For real, right? Who are these two bastards? And they get the first banking license over everybody else? Seriously? So this is what just thoughts that are going through my head. I'm not proving anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking the fucking questions, okay? First question, like I got this thing right here. So you got these two guys in a bar. And all of a sudden, they just come out of nowhere and start the first federally licensed. They didn't even work for the banking system. You guys not see? Like, I don't get this. These two guys that never worked for the Federal Reserve and all these things, never worked for B of A. They worked for like Square. All of a sudden, they come up with a federal banking license for crypto, and they're working with the OCC, and everything's all good. That's okay. The bullshit meter went off once already with this, right? I'm just showing you something. There's something going on. That's why I had to hit the BS meter. There's something going on here that doesn't make sense to me. I consider myself reasonable intelligence. That's all that I am. Just reasonable average intelligence, okay? How do these two guys... This is not possible. Now, of that, one of these guys owns a company, a venture capital company, who just happens to be working with Palantir, which is a central, I won't say intelligence, won't say agency funded, started company that's continually doing shit with the government's three-letter agencies. I mean, isn't that, how's all this shit happening? Okay. Then they dump Stellar. They happen to have a gold-backed crypto, which sounds actually better than a fiat-backed crypto to me. They have a gold-backed company, and they're basically calling Circle a shit coin. So this, to me, just I don't like. I'm not comfortable with this whole situation. Whether Stellar wins, loses, I don't know. I've got other cryptos. I don't need Stellar personally. I've got 10 or 12 other cryptos. So Stellar is just, I'm going to make it without Stellar. You know, it's one of these things. Stellar can take off and make billions for people. That's A-okay. And if that's what you want to do, I'm not here to discourage that. I'm just here to ask questions that I don't have answers to. Why am I seeing this government coming up why am I seeing the government coming up in Anchorage? Why am I seeing the government coming up in Colsey Ventures with this Palantir? Why is the fucking three-letter agencies coming up all over the place? That's my question. So it might have started off as two guys at a bar talking about some shit. Hey, as they're sitting there drinking their little Shirley Temples, and their little twinkle toes. I don't know how they got all this shit going, but I sure know it doesn't make any fucking sense. So when shit doesn't make sense, I'm out. Okay. That's just how I do it. I have to try to see stuff make sense. And I'm just seeing a lot of government stuff popping up here. And I don't have answers to things. Maybe I did the right thing or the wrong thing. Whatever. It's my thing. And I'll take ownership of it, whether I've made the right choice or the bad choice. I'm just doing my best with the limited information that I have. Terrence McNamara, thanks for bringing the stellar information to light. Crypto Hulk, all helpful in evaluating the ever-changing crypto environment. Yes. I have a friend actually that told me, I called him up and said, hey, watch my short video on Stellar. We talked a little bit or whatever. I said, he said, I sold all my Stellar last week. I'm like, really? I'm like, well, that's a pretty interesting coincidence. He's like, yeah, I just haven't seen the connections. Like, he's been watching my show and all these connections these cryptos are making, and there's just nothing about Stellar. So that's his choice. Don't do what he does. Don't do what I do. I'm just telling you to give you other perspectives on what I see and stuff, which mean absolutely nothing. You just watch the show and then you've got to make your own choice. Okay. That's what I'm showing you. Things are not going to be easy. There's a lot of hidden things. There might be 2, 3, 4, 5 projects that can do a job, and we think it's going to be this and that, but no, it's actually that one. See what I mean? It's like whack-a-mole, that game where you play where the little moles pop up, and you got to hit it, and the next mole pops up, and you got to hit it. I don't have answers for all this stuff. All I do is try to do research and show you. I don't have all the answers to this. I don't know which is the right one. Linda McKinney. Can't keep a good man down. So I will be receiving a lot of hate comments, and that's A-okay. I don't give a fuck. I just block people anyway. Scott Allen, thank you very much for that donation there. But yeah, tax-free. That's just what I'll do. Other people like, oh, you bought IOST, right? I bought IOST. Just people wanted to know. I know someone's going to ask, well, Crypto Hulk, if you sold off your Stellar, what'd you get? IOST. And because we did a show on it, I wrote it on here on my little list last week or a couple weeks ago. And there's massive Ripple chain link connections there. And so I got exposed to it because from what the research that I did, seems like a great project. I don't care what charts. Someone's like, have you seen the charts on that? I'm like, seriously? I did a show on it, dumbass, where I went in and actually researched the company and found out all the connections to Chainlink and Ripple that it has. I don't give a fuck about what a chart says. Really? Charts are speculation, dumbass. If you're watching, I blocked him, but he probably got a membership back because he's a little bitch boy. This whole crypto space means nothing. The price means nothing, just like that comment did. It's why I had to block you for being stupid. All these prices mean nothing. Do I give a fuck what a chart shows? Seriously? That person is so fucking stupid. He obviously doesn't watch my show because charts mean nothing. The only time a price means something to me is when it's super cheap. That's when I buy it. Other than that, I don't give a fuck what the price says. Came in late, says Micah Ward, but looks like Circle should have sold to Ripple. Hey, I don't know. You know, and then when Crypto Hulk taught you that way back, Jed McCaleb, the guy that started Mt. Gox, helped start Ripple, started Circle. He's the one who taught us about dark pools. And what a dark pool is, so for the guy that's like, have you seen the chart on IOST? Hold on, let me go back to sucking my boyfriend's dick. I don't got time to text anymore. Okay, we already have Jed McCaleb on his website, Mt. Gox, and I read it off to you, and I showed you the website way back in the day. It taught you about dark pools, a way you can buy and sell without it showing up on the order books. Ta-da! The charts won't show that, dumbass, so please don't leave comments. It makes you look more stupider than where you were when you started. When you leave stupid comments about, have you looked at the charts on IOST? Well, there's a thing called dark pools, dumbass. So it doesn't show up on the order books, dumbass. So the charts won't show it, dumbass. Quit trying to be smart, because all you're going to do is I'm going to have to make you look like a fucking tard, all right? People would think you're actually smart if you just shut the fuck up, all right? All righty then. See what we got here. I think we're just about done. Okay. I think that's it. I definitely got a show lined up for 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time today. So congrats. If you're able to make it through this hour and 5 minutes, congratulations. There you go. That's my take on this whole Circle Stellar thing. Whether things go bad or good, it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you information I found, and that's really about it. So I'll see y'all in the next one here.